How's it going, folks? I'm Wayne Riles and I'm back for another lesson with you. So I hope you've done the first two lessons, and the last lesson we did two chords, which was an E minor chord and an A sus2 chord. So I'm going to show you two new chords, and this lesson I'm going to show you a little simple riff as well. But one thing I didn't mention last lesson, just very quickly, is how to hold the plectrum. So I don't want to get too ahead of you. Sometimes you just forget to tell you things. But so basically, holding a plectrum, I know it can seem pretty obvious, but it's not actually. You hold it between your first two fingers and your thumb, and if you can hold it about halfway down, not too tightly, but you know, just enough to get a good firm grip on, that's going to be quite good. So if you hold it a bit lame, it's going to spin around on your fingers, or very annoyingly, you might drop it inside if you've got an acoustic guitar, inside the sound hole, which is very fiddly for getting them out after. So halfway down, first two fingers in your thumb, gives us a good firm grip on it. Obviously the point of the plectrum is sticking out like that, okay? So, okay, the other lesson, the first chord I showed you was an E minor chord, and that was, if you remember, we used the second finger on the second fret, second string down from the bottom string, and the third finger was going to go on the second fret, the next string down. So we got the second finger on the A string, second fret, and the third finger on the D string, second fret, and we played all the strings open on that one. So with an E major chord, what we're going to do now, I'll just show you the chord if the camera can see that. I'll turn it that way, which might mean more sense to you. We're going to be adding an extra finger as first finger, which is going to go on the G string on the first fret. So we've got as first two, if we do the E minor chord, so what we're going to do, we're going to add the first finger on the D string first fret. And I hope that's clear. I know I've got really big fingers, my fingers are like a bunch of bananas, folks, so I'm really going to try and explain where my fingers are and what my fingers are doing, because I know it's not that clear. But so that's the E major chord, so we've got the E minor, adding on the first fret on the D string as first finger, okay? And again, we're playing all the strings open. So it should give us, that's your E major chord, okay? And the difference between a major and a minor chord, and the way that they sound, the simple thing is, a major chord sounds happy, and the minor chord, by taking the finger off again, sounds sad. Okay? So it's very important to get that note cutting through with the first finger on the D string on the first fret to make it into an E major. It's very important because if your second finger's slightly lying down, you're going to be muting that string out and it's going to be cancelling that. So it's very important, like I said in the other lesson, to make sure your fingers are really on the tips. I know it's quite a bit painful at this point, but it does get easier, I promise. So that's the E major chord. Okay? So then the next chord is an A minor chord. So this is the A minor, and it's the same as the A sus2, the other one we did in the other lesson. I'll just turn that. So all we're going to do is move all of that shaped chord down one string, okay? Like we did with the A sus2 in the first lesson. So now I've got the second finger on the A string, second fret, the third finger on the second fret on the D string. We're going to be just dropping that both down. So now my second finger's on the D string, second fret, and my third finger's going to be on the G on the second fret, okay? And then we're going to be adding the first finger on the B string on the first fret, okay? And this time we're going to be playing the bottom 5 strings. So the bottom string, the bottom E, becomes what we call shut, okay? So playing the bottom, that should sound like this. Again, it's very important to get that first finger on the first fret, get that note cutting through, because if that finger's slightly lying down. And a little tip for getting your chords sounding really good, because this is the most important thing at the moment, we've got to get his chords really ringing through. And that's a case of pressing your fingers down quite hard so you're getting the notes down. But if it doesn't quite sound right, a good way to eliminate that problem is by picking the strings individually. If you have a finger that's not quite pressed down hard enough, you know, if it's muted, or you're muting another string by one finger slightly lying down and catching another string, you're gonna solve that problem pretty quickly, you know. Oh, it's that finger, so it's just a case of having a bit of patience and going through the chord, but the most important thing is having it ringing out nice and clearly. Okay, so that's 2 new chords for you. That would be an E major and A minor. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you a little simple riff as well, a great one for the kids and adults alike. So it's Smoke on the Water, so I'm just going to play it first. So okay, so this is a 1-string riff, and I always think it's cool to show people riffs in my lessons, because when you're just learning a group of chords and you're getting started, the first thing that people say to you when you say, oh, I'm having guitar lessons, I'm learning a guitar, play me something. And it's not very, you know, when you just got a few chords together, it's like, is that all you can do? But when you're playing just a simple riff like that, straight away it's like, oh, show me, or, you know, gets their attention straight away, you find. So I'm just going to show you Smoke on the Water. I know there's loads of this on the internet. It's one of the most famous riffs ever, Smoke on the Water. And this isn't the proper version. This is obviously just a 1-string version to get you going, really easy. So, and the way that we're going to do this, I'm not going to go too much into tab at the moment and how you read tab. I'm just going to explain to you and just basically get you playing at the moment. But it's all going to be played on the bottom E string. Okay, we're only going to be playing this on 1 string, but we're going to be moving up the fretboard. Okay, so if we count the frets, what we said about the frets before, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if you look at the dots on your guitar, that's a good way to find where you are on the guitar, because you got the first dot is on the 3rd fret, you'll find. The second dot is on the 5th fret. The next one will be the 7th. Then you've got the 9th, and then you'll have 2 dots. I know there's 2 dots on here, but normally most guitars only have 2 dots on the 12th fret. But it's usually on the top of the neck there, if you can see that. There's 2 dots there, which is on the 12th fret. Okay. If you've got a metal guitar or an axe, or what I call it's using a lot of rock music, you might have an axe or an eagle or something on, but there'll always be a sign to tell you where the 12th fret is. And another good thing is when you're a complete beginner as well, and it's great, I do this with a lot of kids, I get them to put little stickers on top of the fret, so you'll have like a little sticker saying that's the 1st fret, 2nd, and we'll go all the way up to the 12th, but again, make sure it's stickers that you can pull off your guitar and it's not going to ruin the lacquer on your guitar, or you're not going to be able to get it off. So just some simple stickers with numbers on, you know. So this one, so the first note we're going to be playing is an open string. So that's just playing the bottom E string without any fingers on at all. So it's 0, 3, 3rd fret, 5. That's the first part. So 0, 3, 5. The next part will be 0, 3, 6, 5. Okay? And I'm doing it with 1 finger because that's how you guys are probably going to be doing it at the moment. So 0, 3, 5. The next part, 0, 3, 6, 5. And then the last part we got 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Okay? So 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 6, 5. 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Smoke on the Water, one of the most famous riffs ever. There you go. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you for another lesson very soon. Cheers.